apples, potatoes, shellfish. It's just some of the crops raised in the Pacific Northwest. Texas farmers and ranchers got to see them firsthand. The experience was eye-opening.
I'm really amazed at the diversity of the agriculture. I never knew about all of the water. The capacity to irrigate that they have over here is just tremendous. Growing up in South Texas and living there, it's very awe-inspiring to me as a producer.
Idaho, Oregon, and Washington were on the week-long schedule. It's part of the Texas Farm Bureau's Global Agricultural Education Tours, a way for Texas growers to see agriculture around the world and across the nation.
It's important that we have a broad-based understanding of agriculture all over the United States and in the world to show us the different types of agriculture and the different ways things are done.
The main thing that stuck out in everyone's minds is water. Everywhere you look, someone is irrigating. That's because the eastern side of Oregon and Washington only get between 3 and 9 inches of rain a year, a far cry from the coastal climate and thick rainforest on the other side of the Cascade Mountains.
I think we all didn't realize there was so much desert country, Mediterranean country, that the water is a huge issue in parts of Oregon, Washington, and Idaho. They have great volcanic type soil, but they're just missing that one thing, water.
Since the water doesn't come from the sky, it has to come from somewhere, like Grand Coulee Dam. Grand Coulee is the largest of the 274 hydroelectric dams in the Columbia River system. That one dam helps irrigate more than 600,000 acres.
The tour guide telling us that the reason the dam was built was to provide irrigation water, and you can tell driving these highways that that's what's brought this part of the country to life.
That water is used to grow crops like sugar beets, Timothy hay, raspberries, pumpkins, peppers, and the pride of Washington agriculture, apples.
Obviously, we're not comparing apples to oranges on this trip, but for me it's really fascinating. We were at the packing shed earlier, and of course, whether I was running grapefruit in that shed or oranges in that shed, that's the same equipment, the same concept. But what he's doing here on apples is a lot different than what I do with oranges and grapefruit in the Rio Grande Valley.
Texas farmers were also immersed in aquaculture, both salt and freshwater. Along the coast, Taylor Shellfish grows more farm-raised shellfish than anyone in the country. Clams, mussels, oysters, and geoduck are their specialties. Farther inland, freshwater farmers take advantage of natural springs to grow trout, tilapia, and white sturgeon. Fun fact, caviar is the harvested eggs of sturgeon.
A lot of things that we do in production agriculture as far as production of livestock goes hand in hand with aquaculture. They're using breeding techniques and things that we see in livestock production also. That's truly amazing to me.
But the trip wasn't just about seeing unique crops. It was also about talking with fellow farmers about the issues they face. The group visited a dairy that just settled a lawsuit sparked by EPA. It was the first time a federal court ruled manure from a livestock facility should be regulated as solid waste. The settlement was painful, but survivable.
They added a more sophisticated way of separating the solids from the liquid manure. The solids, running it through a centrifuge and using it in compost, and then selling the compost. EPA came to this dairy, and whether it's my dairy that's a smaller dairy or whether it's a dairy that's in the northern part of Texas, it's good to know how they dealt with it and some of the things that they did to adjust.
The Texas delegation stopped by the Wheat Marketing Center in Portland. The wheat farmers in the group had a chance to see firsthand the science and research that goes into their kernels once it leaves their farms.
It was interesting to see how they're blending our hard red winter wheat with soft wheat to make a better product and sell around the world. When we grow wheat, we don't realize how much goes on with wheat after it leaves the farm until it's a finished product.
A potato farm in Idaho, a poplar tree plantation in Oregon, a hay operation in Washington. Texas farmers glean something from every stop. Though their farms are thousands of miles apart, Texans found kindred spirits in the growers of the Pacific Northwest, a bond only those who work the land can understand. For TFB News, Ed Wolff, Portland.